Hey guys, welcome back for another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Antoine and I hope you're doing fantastic today. So today I'm back for another video, and today I'm going to be trying to teach you guys how to do a trick on a skateboard. So basically it's going to be a like ouch type of video. And today the trick that I'm going to be trying to break down for you guys is one that feels like super good, and it's a manual. So basically this trick is like a balance trick, and like it looks like that. So basically that's this trick, and I mean it's super fun to do, but very hard to get the hang of at first. So today I'm going to be trying to give you guys a couple of like tips and tricks that are going to make it like, you know, easier for you guys to actually attempt your first manual, and like hopefully like get longer manuals along the way. So yeah, that's going to be like today's topic. And I mean the first thing that I want to say like starting this video is going to be like, you know, this trick is like 99% balance, and I mean I cannot teach you guys the balance. Basically like you need to get it by yourself, and it's gonna be like all on you. So if you do like stuff like unicycle and like all this stuff, you're gonna probably like have some ease trying to do a manual, but like I mean it's gonna come like with time. So it's gonna be like practicing again, and hopefully at some point it will become like natural to stand on two wheels. But anyway, like what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be trying to basically like show you guys the foot placement you need to have for this trick to make it easier, and to give you like a couple of tips of things like not to do common mistakes basically for this trick, and actually like, you know, give you guys a couple of tips to make it basically easier to find your balance point, and to actually, you know, hopefully get your manual like faster than you would if you were trying it by yourself. So let's go. That's what we're gonna do right now. And the way I'm gonna be processing is, first off I'm gonna be trying to show you guys like the foot placement you need to have for this trick. Then I'm gonna be basically like trying to teach you guys how to actually send the manual, so how to go into the manual, because I mean it can be confusing at first. I know that I didn't think it was like that when I started skateboarding. So I mean I'm gonna be covering that right after it, and I'm gonna be ending up like by giving you like some tips on like how to practice your manual at first, and like how to get longer manual with like over time. And yeah, so that's gonna be this video. And actually during this video I'm also gonna be myself like practicing my manual. So I'm gonna try to do like 3 challenges today. So the first one is gonna be to go all the way around the tennis court doing a manual. Then I'm gonna be trying to do a nose manual for like halfway of the like tennis court length. And finally I'm gonna be trying to do a switch manual for the like half of a tennis court length. So I mean I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to do this third one, but let's get right into it, and let's go guys. So first off, when it comes to a foot placement for this trick, and I mean you're gonna see it right now like on the screen. What you're gonna be doing is actually you're gonna have like your front foot right above your front ball. So basically like 2 bolts that are just like letting 2 bolts like appearing, so basically, or like being like right, you know, in this area basically. And I mean try to maybe move it around a bit to see like what feels most comfortable for you. But actually it's gonna be very important for you to actually have a wide stance. So basically have your front foot as close to the nose of the ball as possible. I mean like not on the nose, but you see what I mean. And the reason for that is that actually the wider your stance is gonna be, the more stable you'll feel on your board. So it goes like for every trick you do on skateboard, like the wider your stance is, the more stable you feel. And on a manual, I mean like the most important thing is to feel like stable, because you're gonna be like balancing on 2 wheels. So try to get like, you know, cover like the most space possible on your board, and to have your foot like around this little area, so like around your front bolt. It's gonna make it a lot easier for you guys, because if you were to have like your front foot, for example, like in the middle of the board, what would happen is that actually you would have like, you know, the balance point, like you'll be like, I mean like if you take your skateboard, like basically like the balance point is in the middle, and like if you put your front foot in the middle, like you're gonna be like all your weight is gonna be on the tail, and like you're gonna be like putting most of the weight on the tail, which is gonna be like making basically your manual like go over, so like that, and you're gonna be like scraping your tail on the ground all the time. You're gonna be like zipping out and all the stuff. And I mean to avoid that, you basically have to get a wider stance and to put like some weight on your front foot. So that's for the placement of the front foot. Then what I would suggest for the back foot actually is gonna be to put it like that. So basically like that's the stance I put my foot in to actually do the manual, and it's like right behind the pocket of your tail. So like not on the edge, because then like I mean it would be like a bit too sensitive, but like maybe put it like closer to like in the middle of the tail basically, so like that. And the reason for that is that if you put it like too much like on the edge, it's gonna be very sensitive, and it's gonna be hard to actually, you know, balance your things. So basically like you're gonna tend to put like some weight on the back foot to control your manual. And if you actually put like some weight on your foot is like right on the edge of the skateboard, I mean it's gonna be super sensitive, and you might actually like slam your foot right into the concrete and like basically lose your manual right away. So that's like the first thing. And I mean, it's gonna give you like having your foot like in the middle is gonna give you like enough room to actually maneuver your manual, like to, you know, be able to adjust with your foot. And yeah, so that's for the foot placement for this trick. And actually that's the first step. It's something to have down, but I mean like it's gonna be a lot easier. Like, it's not a flip trick, so you don't have to do a lot of things with your feet. It's gonna be mainly a balance trick, as I told you. So now that you got your foot placement down, actually the second part is gonna be to be like getting like over the fear of actually going onto your back wheel and getting used to actually this feeling of lifting your board up basically. And a couple of steps I would actually advise you to take for that would be to basically just like stand whether on grass, whether on concrete, whether like in a crack, and try to just basically like lift your tail up and just do this motion basically again and again and again, just until it feels very comfortable to actually lift your front wheels up and to put your tail like down on the concrete. So that's like the first thing you're gonna be doing in order to actually get used to lifting your front wheel, because like it can feel like super natural at first. And I mean, in order to like avoid zipping out as much as possible, I mean, I would really like suggest you get used to doing that, because I mean, if you do that enough, actually you're gonna like know what it feels like basically to go onto your back wheels. Then the second step to me is going to be to actually like go on grass or like find a crack and try to, you know, maybe balance your manual like without moving in the grass or in a crack, to just see what it feels like to basically like stay over like your back wheel for a longer period of time. And actually don't be afraid if you can't like hold it for too long, because actually it's like super hard to balance a manual like without moving. It's like so much easier with speed. I mean, speed is key in this trick, so really like don't be scared. If you cannot really like hold it for a long time, it's not the objective of like this part of a training. It's gonna be more like, you know, about getting used to actually being over your back wheel and getting over the fear of actually like seeing your board without your wheel touching the ground, because it can be pretty scary at first and it can feel very like, you know, very weird at first. But anyway, so that's gonna be like the second step I would advise you to take. And then the third step is going to be to basically do this same thing while like rolling very, 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 very slowly. The reason for that is that it's actually gonna get you to visualize what it's gonna look like to go into manual. And actually the last part like of this training thing, like, you know, the part before you actually try the manual, is gonna be to try to do like very small manual. So basically you're gonna be like rolling very slowly and just try to lift your nose up and put it back down. So basically do this motion like, I don't know, like maybe 50 times, just getting used to doing that. And I'm trying maybe to like put like more weight over your back foot, less weight, and see like, you know, how it feels basically to maneuver in manual basically. And I mean, over time maybe try to increase the distance you go on your back wheel. So like do that like a couple of times and just like, you know, get used to being on your back wheel basically. So that's gonna be like the second part of this tutorial, so getting over the fear. And I mean, these are like the couple of tips I have for you guys. And right now I'm gonna be getting into like the balancing part. So it's like the most important part in getting a manual to last, because actually like it's pretty easy. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's gonna be hard at first, but it's pretty easy to get your back wheel off the ground. But it's very, very hard to balance a manual, like for real. And like the reason why it's actually so hard to balance a manual is that most people, when they first start like doing manuals, and I was one of those people, so basically like, I mean, I know what it feels like, and like it's just like super weird at first, but people try to actually balance the manual with their foot only. So basically just like trying to, you know, get your leg to like, you know, get you know, in a squat position, and like, you know, just basically balance it all with the legs. And the thing with that is that it's a lot less scary than actually going into the real manual thing, but it's not gonna work long run, because like on the long run, because you're not gonna be able to actually balance it like that for a long period of time, because actually at some point you're gonna put like too much pressure on your back foot and it's gonna like slip out, or you're gonna put like too much pressure on your front foot, not being able to catch it and stuff, and it's gonna be like, you know, too aggressive basically. Like it's gonna be a way of balancing the manual that's like pretty aggressive. So basically if you put like the slightest like bit of overweight basically on your back foot, your tail's gonna scrape. And like if you put the slightest bit of weight like on your front foot, your nose is gonna scrape, it's gonna touch back the ground, so it's gonna like basically cancel the manual, and you don't want that. So the way you're gonna balancing your manual is not gonna be with your leg. I mean, like you can do like some small adjustment with your legs, but it's gonna be mostly, and that's the scary part, with your upper body mass. And what do I mean by that is that actually to get into the manual, to get out of it and to actually balance it, you're not gonna be like trying to put pressure with your foot on the board, but you're gonna be like, leaning toward like the back of the board or toward like the nose of the board. And it's super scary at first, like don't get me wrong, because you feel like you're gonna slip out and stuff, like it's super scary. But maybe practice it in the grass a bit and you'll see like you'll get used to it, and it's gonna be so much easier to do that, because actually it's gonna allow you to adjust basically your manuals with the slightest touch basically, and allow you to put like a lot less weight basically over your back foot or over your front foot, because actually like you're gonna transfer a lot less mass basically over your foot. And that's basically how you actually balance a manual. So a small step like I would take for you guys actually to do that is actually go back in the grass and just like try to maybe get over your tail, or like like do the same thing you did like to practice a manual, but only doing it like with your upper body to just see what it feels like, and maybe try to do basically like all the prerequisite steps like I just talked about. Try to do it with your upper body mass only, and it's gonna be a lot harder like at first, don't get me wrong, but with time you'll see, you'll get used to it, and it's gonna make it like so much easier to balance your manual like for a longer period of time. So that's for the second part. And actually like balancing your manual, like it's gonna be about that, but it's also gonna be like about where your eyes are. So basically what do I mean by that is that actually in order to get a manual, like try it if you want, like you'll see it works for real. Try to see the point you want a manual to. So basically like I know that when I started doing manuals, like what we used to do with my buddies was like we used to take like a parking spot and just like look at the two like side of a parking spot and just like get your eyes on the point you want to go to. So basically like that, and just try to aim for this spot. So basically just manual all the way around like the space you want to manual over, and just always looking at this spot, and you'll see that against your will you're gonna be like making it to this point, and your board is gonna go down right as you hit that spot. So basically like that's just like a mental thing, but looking where you want to go is gonna really like get you like to be able to manual over there like a lot faster. So I don't know if it made a lot of sense, but I mean that's a great way to train actually. It's to actually look at pick a spot, like maybe take some duct tape or stuff, and like try to like set it in a wider stance like every time, and to just look at the point you want to go to. It's really gonna help you out a lot doing this trick. But yeah, so that's for the balancing part. And I mean like if you got your eyes right, so if you like know where you want to go, and if you got like the balancing part of the shoulder like right, you'll see that it's gonna be a lot easier to actually balance your manual over a long period of time. And actually once you start like getting used to doing like manuals over like those smaller distances, like I'd say, if you want to take it like to a really like long stuff and like you cannot see the end of the manual you want to do, and I mean if you get to this point you probably don't need to watch this tutorial because like you're already like good at manuals. But what I personally do is I try to like go into my peripheral vision basically, like if it makes sense, and to blurry like everything, and just basically like try to aim like at some point like in front of me, and just like blurry it and keep it like for as long as possible, like not moving my eyes, and it just like keeps the board going. I don't know, like it's just a weird thing, but it's what I do and it seems to work, so I'm gonna keep on doing that this way. But that's like the way I do it. If you got a better way, maybe like tell me in the comments, but that's like the way I do it, and it's maybe a bit weird, but anyway. And I mean, so that's how you actually balance your manual. And the last part about actually doing this trick, and actually like that's something that I struggled with quite a bit when I started doing manuals, and it's gonna be to ollie into your manual. So if you get to this point, like I mean it means you're already like pretty good at doing manuals like on flat ground, so like I'm gonna be doing like in the tennis court. But I mean if you want to take it to the next level, so do that basically. What you're gonna be having to do is to basically mix up two techniques. So you're gonna be ollieing, and once you get to the thing, you're gonna be like balancing the manual with your legs to actually getting into the position of the manual, and then switching to your upper body, if it makes sense. So that's actually like the way to get a manual like on manual part or like stuff like that, is to actually start out with the legs to get the board to be in the right position, and then like go back to your upper body and balance it like you would on some flat ground. So yeah, that's like the way I do it at least, and I mean I hope that it can help you. Like I hope it makes sense to you, because actually it might be a bit weird, like I don't know if I explained it well, but I mean I hope it can help you. If you got any question, like make sure to drop in the comments, because I'll try to answer your question. But anyway, like I mean that's actually like how you do a manual. So actually like if I like try to recap like what I said, is just like first off the foot placement. So this one, front foot right over the bolts of the front bolts, and back foot in the middle of the tail. Then balance it with your shoulder, trying to aim with your eyes to a spot you want to go to. And I mean, to get above the fear, just try to, you know, do this motion, like this couple of motion, like a couple of times. And that's actually the way you're going to be doing your manual. So I hope this style could help you. And right now I'm going to be getting myself into doing like a couple of challenges. So I'm going to try to do a manual over a long distance. I'm going to try to do a nose manual over like a pretty long distance for me because I suck at nose manual. And I'm gonna try to do a switch manual, so we'll see how it goes. But let's go, guys. I'll coach you guys back on the board, getting into this tennis court, and let's go. Time to do some manuals.